Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome back to the 1K World Cup. We are back with the final match of finals weekend. And we saved the best for last. It is going to be the United Kingdom going up against the United States A team to see who will be rounding out the podium positions and who will be left on the outside looking in. This is a battle for that fourth spot. You don't want to be number 4 at the end of the day. As always, my name is Sparky. I'm going to be doing a bit of a solo job here in the commentary booth as we make our way into this match. And oh boy, just a star-studded lineup across both sides of the aisle. Some real heavy hitters, like some Teasel, Mini Egg, who have been 1K mainstays for the United Kingdom, Cydosis, who needs no introductions, Joke 2 winner, Joke 3 podium finisher, along with a number of really good players, all ready to lend their support, you would imagine, for both sides. But for right now, just waiting for the teams to ready up. We'll be getting into this first warm-up before too long. You can imagine this can go either way, really just depending on which team decides to show up. I believe these two also clashed earlier in this tournament, so it is a rematch where the United Kingdom came out on top. Alrighty, so gonna get into this first warm-up. We'll see if there is a second one to follow, or if we'll get into the match proper. I dare say this might give us a tiny bit of insight as to how the players are feeling going into this match. I imagine the 4 players on screen will probably be doing more than their part to try and get into that final podium position. Because we have 2 spots already decided. That match happened earlier today between Japan and Australia. Both of them guaranteed a top 3 finish. Japan, of course, winning that match 6-0, guaranteeing themselves a top 2 finish at worst in this tournament. But everybody else looking to try and usurp them from that throne. And right now, as we cross the midway point of this warm-up, some pretty spectacular accuracies across the board. This is really going to boil down to who can keep that 300 count to an absolute minimum on the rice charts, and who can hold on to the combo on the LN hybrids, because we have been seeing some pretty gnarly spikes of either bad judgments or misses when it comes to those LN hybrids. And then, of course, the wild card in the SV charts. Not to be understated, one definitely harder than the other, but it seems like everybody's taking the time to practice their way through them, so not a guaranteed point in this match. Would be very surprised if we saw any attention paid towards them in the banning. Maybe something like Confusion Part 1 could get removed from the pool. It is significantly easier than its counterpart in W equals addict. And we haven't even begun to talk about the speed picks. Those are also some very volatile picks given the level of physicality these players have. These two teams definitely capable of handling those 550 BPM bursts found in both of those charts. So that'll do it for the first warm-up here. A double-digit 300 count for Cytosis and Zubin. Zubin finding that singular miss, but like I always say, you don't win in the warm-ups. So nothing to get too worried about. And it looks like we do have a second warm-up here. Very low BPM, but very high star rating in the grand scheme of this chemo, 6.17. I imagine some very liberal interpretations of some of the pattern structures, maybe some very condensed 1/8 LNs usually does a pretty good job of inflating the star rating. Alrighty, so gonna get into the second warm-up here. After this, we will have the captains do their roles, followed by the bands, and then that all-important first pick that'll help set the tone for this match overall. Overall, very gentle beginning to this warm-up. I imagine it'll pick up before too long. Ooh, some very aggressive bursts. This is one of those sight read versus some knowledge of the map. So we can discount the misses from the United Kingdom for right now. That's just some unfamiliarity with the map. That being said, you might think that looking at the scores at the end of this, if the United States does manage to pull out the FCs, might serve for some intimidation. Because these are some very aggressive 1/8 streams transitioning into what looks to be 1/6 patterns. There's still a third of the map to go. I mean, again, this just boils down to who was more familiar with the map. But the accuracy shouldn't be understated. The fact that there's two potential sight reads and you still have, well, I was going to say 98%, but they're still hanging on here as the streams begin to rain down again. And some very ambiguous LN into Rice bursts as well. Very hard to keep track of those as well. Everybody's just hanging on for dear life. And here comes the insane bursts that give this that 6.17 star rating. Very good runs overall. And that will do it for the warm-ups here. We're going to have the captain's roll, as I mentioned. We have Sidosis rolling the 63 for the United States. We shall see what the UK throw out here. Wonder if they'll leave the honors to their captain Teasel, or if one of the other players in the lobby will do the honors. Looks like Zubin might take the mantle here. Doesn't really matter as long as somebody does it. And it is a 77, so United Kingdom rolls their way to that victory. The United States going to be up to ban first. And this should give us a lot of insight. This might actually be a situation where, I was going to say, these more physical maps that are more rice-oriented might be worth getting rid of to kind of neutralize the threat that players like Zubin have on that side of the map pool. So speed 2 can be removed, no speed of link. And an SV2 ban, so unsurprising there. Of the 2 SV charts, that one's definitely a lot easier. And it becomes a lot riskier trying to get into a bit of an accuracy battle on it. And you kind of hope that the other team has a very bad run on SV1. So that'll do it for the bans. Now the United Kingdom has the honor of picking first here. Could see something like Gate of Doom coming through here, that OD10. Very easy map in the grand scheme of things for finals, but if you do really want to skill check the other team in terms of how clean their accuracy is, gotta love it. Teasel coming back in, being like, "Hey guys, do I need to roll?" It's like, "Nah, fam, we got that. We got it taken care of for you. We won the roll. Just pick a map, please." You got 2 minutes. It's gonna be Rice 2 to start things off here. So Nyarla's Dreamland going to be the first option. One of the more physical maps in this pool. Mirage Garden notwithstanding. Now, a bit of a lower OD, so a little bit more forgiving than something like Gate of Doom to start things off. It looks like the players on screen are going to be the ones contesting on this pick. Zubin, Mini Egg, going against LaFluffy and Sidosis. To see who will take this first point, who will set the tone for the rest of this match. These guys have played each other very close before in the past. Some unsettled business for the United States, some revenge potentially. The United Kingdom looking to do the double over the United States in this tournament. And as I mentioned before, all 4 of these players very good in their own right. This is just going to come down to who can keep that 300 count in check, who can avoid the misses. The margin for error is so slim in this matchup, as it was in their first matchup a couple of weeks ago. And as it stands, it is going to be a top half versus bottom half battle beginning to develop. Sidosis and Zubin going at it. 99.9% accuracies for both of them, and LaFluffy and Mini Egg going at it on the bottom half of the screen. LaFluffy winning the battle overall by 0.05%. It is too close to call between these two countries at the moment. It is a tug of war between the two of them. 300 points swinging back and forth with each 300 that rains down. It is still too close to call, despite the lead trending the way to the blue side. Because of the fact that there's so many streams, the 1-8's not handling everybody, but it catches out Fluffy. The first break coming through here, a slider break, not a pure miss, but it does give the United Kingdom a bit of a cushion to work with now. 8,000 points is the buffer. No trades back as we make our way into the back half of the chart now. So all the pressure now resides with Sidosis. 99.98% accuracy, highest in the lobby. Zubin losing about 1/10% through that last section as we take a bit of a breather in terms of the overall density, but it's going to pick up before too long. If you're in the United Kingdom, not out of the woods just yet, but looking really good to try and secure this first point. Last quarter of the map still left to go here. The lead has grown to about 11,000 points. As Fluffy is now back up over that 400 combo cap, gonna be able to make a full contribution to her team's score, but is that one miss going to be the deciding factor here as we make it into the last 8? It's just pure streams. I believe there's still some 1-8s left to go here, but as it stands, the United Kingdom looking really strong. The 1/3 transition is not catching out any of the players as it stands. And a very strong first pick for the United Kingdom to make it 1-0. The singular miss, the deciding factor. A 999k from Sidosis goes unrewarded. 16 300s. But nothing to show for it. That being said, it's really close. And I think that is going to be the bar for this match. Misses are going to mean everything going forth from here. So now United States up to pick their first pick in this match. They know the United Kingdom's really got on Rice. And in their previous match this weekend, they opted to go for an LN hybrid-based strategy. Lollipop is on the table now. They didn't have it yesterday in their match. So another option for them to go into in that LM pool. And they started that last match off with Acid Burst. But they're going to start this one with Hybrid 2. So Deep Ocean to start things off. A much more difficult map in terms of overall pattern structure. A lot more choke points littered throughout this map. The attention turns to a very intense doublet section midway through. That could catch the players out unless I'm mistaking the map. I know it's one of these hybrids that has a very long string of doublets to read through. As it stands, no substitutions. I imagine the roster is going to stay locked for the United States. Sidosis and Fluffy are the two players best suited for this level of difficulty for the United States. Yeah, it looks like no substitutions for the United Kingdom. So it will be Zubin and Mania going into this one to try and get the first break point on their side. The United States trying to keep parity here. Make this a glorified best of 9. Very good starts, very early hits for some of the players here, but with the introduction as heavy as it is, we're going to see tenths of a percent flying back and forth. Cautiously waiting for all of the players to make it over that 400 combo cap. Everybody successfully does, but as I say that, Fluffy finds a slider break on one of the bursts. Transitioning into that LN, not the cleanest. And it's going to give the United Kingdom a bit of a buffer to work with. But that being said, we're about to approach the hardest section of this chart. As Idosis falls as well before it begins. The doublet starts to rain down. Mini-Egg finds a trade back, but Fluffy finds a second drop to add to it. But Mini-Egg not able to handle this section, as well as Zubin, who is the only person remaining with an FC through this portion of the map. Moving on into the second third now. Still 23,000 points to the good are the United Kingdom, but a double drop here. But nobody on the other side in a position to capitalize. Neither United States player above that 400 combo cap to get full credit for the contributions of Cytosis and Mini-Egg dropping on the same LN. The only player with any semblance of combo now is Fluffy. Every note that she hits is going to start making a bit of a dent in this lead, especially because she's going to be the first one to make it over that 400 combo cap, and all of the players get a glimpse at the scores. They're going to see everybody's found a break. Can they do the math to determine how far ahead or behind they are? It adds to the amount of pressure through this back half. It is 12,000 points now, the lead for the United Kingdom, able to weather the worst of this chart, but there is a reprisal of those heavy bursts moving forward into the last sections of this map. So not safe by any stretch of the imagination. There's still plenty of patterns to trip up on. And you just feel like the advantage could teeter in favor of the United States moving on into the last quarter, barring any last second slip-ups here. Very nasty 1/3 into 1/6 section. Everybody managing to make it through relatively unscathed. A couple of 10s being dropped, a couple of grades dotting the landscape here across the playfield. And the United Kingdom coming out just a tiny bit better. They were able to extend the lead, but it begins to shrink. It is within a margin of 3,000 points that their lead teeters on, but it's still 5 digits, the amount of points, as Fluffy finds yet another drop. That was the charge, potentially. But it is not going to be enough. The United Kingdom pick up the first break point in this match to make it 2-0 to start this match off. Very impressive performances across the board here. Very hard map to get a consistent score on. But with that being said, the United Kingdom just able to hold it together that little bit longer to secure that second point. And now with them up to pick once again, can see them go back up to the top half of the map pool. They do also have speed 1 as a potential option. I don't think they really want to go toe-to-toe with the United States on these LN hybrids. Maybe opting to try and break those points on them. And of course, there is the issue of SV1. As we've been saying, 32,000 points of a PB. Needed every single one of those points to see them through. But for right now, still some deliberation for the side of the United Kingdom. They have many avenues, many options open to them. That being said, the United States definitely more than capable of clawing some of these points back. Able to contest on those rice picks if the United Kingdom aren't too careful. And it looks like they're gonna stick with the hybrids here, so not the strategy I was thinking, but they clearly have some confidence going into that portion of the map pool. It is going to be epistrophe. Alrighty, so everybody is ready now. We're going to get into this third map of this best of 11 United Kingdom. Hot, or riding the high of the first breakpoint in this match. The United States looking to try and answer back with a breakpoint of their own. Very smooth starts across the board. Everybody has basically been in a deadlock with each other. This breakdown section catching out LaFluffy. Gonna be the first drop, but Zubin finding they trade back in return. Has been the higher accuracy out of both players on the United Kingdom, but Fluffy trading it back once again with a pretty significant accuracy drop of their own, down into that low 98% range. Meanwhile, Zubin able to claw back up to the 99s. Blaming Cydosis and Mini Egg on a bit of an island here. 310 separating them. Cydosis once again having the higher accuracy of the two, and Zubin finding another interesting drop in the break section where they trade on the lower half of the map pool. So no combos to speak of for the United Kingdom. Cydosis holding on as best as they can, trying to wrench this lead back from the United Kingdom, shrinking the lead to about 1,400 points. For every 0.1% the Fluffy can claw back as well, it's going to lend to the efforts, but they're not allowed to find any more breaks. The double section returns once again, transitioning out of these 1-4s so hard sometimes to read through, but as the map comes to an end, I believe the United Kingdom brought it back just enough, getting back up over that 400 combo cap and securing a very hotly contested third point there. A 986 from Cydosis. MVPing the lobby once again. Zubin probably gonna see a little bit of a desync here. Don't be surprised if we see things catch up. Fantastic. And the United Kingdom 3 to the good right now, but not without some level of worry. That being said, all that matters at the end of the day is that your score is higher than your opponent's. So I think they'll take those. So United States going to go for LN1. Trying to find something that'll stick here. Arguably the most straightforward LN. the more straightforward island. There's only 2. Definitely a lot more forgiving than Acid Burst. So right now the players just getting ready. The US needing to find some purchase in this match. Finding themselves 3 down to start this match off. Skipping through that introduction. It's always nice hearing the built-up hit sounds to start the map off. Some very deceptive LM lengths throughout this chart. And we develop into a bit of a accuracy check once again. Very easy to spike 300s and just chip away at your accuracy every 100th of a percent. And with how close these 2 teams have been, once again, that's going to be the margin here for both of them as we continue on further into this chart. Everybody able to make it through that opening section. No major incidents, but higher accuracy for the moment for the United States as we make our way into the second quarter of the chart. Both their players above 99.7%. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom 99.5s for them here. Still plenty of time for them to catch up. This is one of the longer maps in this pool, so any drops are going to do considerable amounts of damage one way or the other. Could it help explode this lead or send it careening the other side? Already through a minute and a half of the chart. And yet still more of the same. Another break for the players to take stock of the situation. They're going to see 4 FCs remaining. Nobody has budged from their perch. Yes, maybe a couple 100ths of a percent traded one way or the other. Average accuracy still favoring the United States at the moment. That is breaking the deadlock for now. And it is 6,000, 7,000 points. Guys, it's just rushes of 300s. You've got to watch those releases, because before too long, you find yourself getting worse and worse ratio. And that's where the bulk of the points begin to bleed away from your score. And with only about an 1/8 of the chart left to go here, we might very well be on our way for our first 4-way FC. That being said, there's still some pretty tricky patterning. Gotta hold your nerve all the way to the end of the map. And it looks like everybody was successfully able to do it, but the United States with the superior accuracy. And they notched their first point on the board, 3-1 now, avoiding the sweep. And now hoping to do a tiny bit more damage to what has been a very formidable UK opponent. So now waiting on the United Kingdom to make their next pick in this match. Have found success on everything but the LN so far. Have not explored the SV, have not explored the speed pick in this pool. Now, while they do have options, it is a tricky road to navigate because you don't want to inadvertently give over a breakpoint in this position because we could find the match tied up very quickly. If I were to hazard a guess, maybe Hybrid 1 for how technical it can get. They have found success weathering the storm, but no, it's going to be LN2 here, so gonna try and run it back on this LN category, exhaust that option. No substitutions here for either side. They do have players in reserve, but I think with the stakes in this match, you want your best players to come to the forefront. And on a map like this with the OD10, any sort of hesitation will be heavily punished. This is definitely the much harder of the two LNs in this pool, and Fluffy going to be finding the accuracy drop as well as the miss as well. Not able to keep the drops clean. And languishing down in that 94-95% range. Still very early going, so going to be able to make a rapid rise back up to that 97, maybe 98% perch if they're lucky, but for the United States, they're going to need some drops to come through from the United Kingdom. Zubin able to keep Cydosis in check, and Mania can kind of just cruise along. Has quite a bit of a margin to work with as they find their first break in this map as well. A second one to boot with Fluffy now back up over that 400 combo cap. These are going to start doing some pretty significant damage as they fall a full 1.5%, some hundreds and some 200s raining down as well. And what it was a 32,000 point lead shrinks to 7,000 point in an instant. As moments like this where timings of those misses, where one finds it in the very early goings, the other in the mid portion, advantage goes to the one that found it first. It's never who makes that first mistake, but who makes the last one that makes all the difference. And with Zubin falling about 1/10% as well, Cydosis needs to hold here. 99.82 for them. The lead shrinks to about 4,000 now. But with Miniag now back up over that 400 combo cap, gonna go stem some of the bleeding here. It's gonna get nervy moments for the United Kingdom going into the last couple of bursts here. These 1/4 doublets going to not cause too much damage. Some 200s coming here and there, but Zubin finding a major rush at the very end of the chart. And it gives the United States 30,000 points in an instant. Off the back of that V1 double S from Sidosis. Oh my goodness. How quickly things can turn. And like I said, it's not who makes the first mistake, it's who makes that last one. That 850 rush from Zubin, the turning point at the 11th hour of Acid Burst. And now the United States with an opportunity to level the match. They have that breakpoint returned to them. What do they go for here? And the United States going to go for SV1. A very risky pick in the grand scheme of things, but maybe their preparation is that tiny bit better over the United Kingdom. Zubin will depart. We will see, I believe, Teasel check in for the UK, tasked with learning the SVs, I would imagine. Miniag also a great enjoyer of SV, and Sidosis forgetting that Teasel exists. Respecting the SV knowledge that they possess. But this is a map that can go south in an instant. This map is all about memorization. You get very little to go off of in terms of visual cues. You have to have the rhythm committed to memory. And it doesn't have to be pretty. The accuracies are going to fluctuate wildly, as I imagine the score as well. Do not be surprised if this spirals one way or the other, because it can turn in an instant. Still in the introductory parts, where you do get the tiniest modicum of visual cues to work off of, but that will end after these last LNs. Everybody making it into the transition. These 1/4 streams, very cut up, very hard to keep track of, even for the best players, but everybody doing a fantastic job of it at the moment. All 4 FCs still left on the board with a quarter of the map left to go. I dare not mention any of the players because these are beautiful runs. And with the last sliver of charge still coming through here, I think the United States might have done it. They have tied this match. It is now 3-3 off the back of a Herculean effort from Cydosis. 992,000 points. MVPing that by a considerable margin. Mini Egg doing their best. 973 is not a bad run by any stretch of the imagination. Would have beat most of the people that fell before them. But unfortunately, the accuracy not there in support. While the United States did have that supporting score. So all square. Starting the match all over again. We're back at zeros. And Fluffy saying it best. What was once a best of 11, now a best of 5. First team to 3 points is making a podium position guaranteed. What has surprised me so far in this match is just how few of the rice picks have been chosen. We started with Nyarlathotep's Dreamland and just ventured everywhere else but there. A testament to the amount of respect these players have for each other in terms of their ability to swing some ridiculous scores on those charts, but we'll have to venture into them before too long, and right now is not the time. It is going to be Hybrid 1 for the United Kingdom, the Bridgeport run. And I was thinking this was probably their best remaining pick in terms of consistency. Teaser will depart. We'll probably see Zubin check back in. So once again, all square. 1 break point apiece for both of these countries. And 2 own pick wins under their belt. Barely able to separate them. But something has to give. Is this the breaking point? We only have rice-oriented picks remaining. Some interesting 1/4 syncopated patterns to start things off, and this motif will repeat throughout the course of this 3.5-minute gauntlet. But the layering is going to get progressively harder and harder to read through. There is one section 3/4 of the way through as well that could be a tipping point for one of these countries if they aren't too careful. But for right now, everybody makes it over that 400 combo cap relatively unscathed. Cydosis picking up a number of 200s, transitioning into this verse section. The doubles begin to come through, the 1/8 bursts as well. Not catching anybody out just yet. Very balanced performances as it stands. Everybody within 1/10% of their next closest competitor. But Zubin going to find the first drop for the United Kingdom. Still managing to hold on to the lead, but that lead is going to start trending towards the United States as the map continues. They do still have the highest accuracy in the lobby. Fluffy trying to contest that. upset the order of things. Maniac finding a slider break as well as we transition into the second verse. As I mentioned, the layering is going to get much harder. These 1/8 transitions going to start sneaking up on you. But the 1/4s are going to stay relatively the same, but Zubin finds yet another drop. No trades back from the United States as of yet. Both of their FCs still left intact going into the second half of the chart now. Both of them basically equaling each other's performances. 99.7 for both of them. 0.3 ahead of their UK counterparts. And they're riding that off to 31,000 points of a lead. A major cushion to work with. But as we saw earlier on Acid Burst, that lead can evaporate on an instant. It just takes one bad section to throw all of that into disarray. But right now, the only team catching misses right now is the United Kingdom. Maniac falls, LaFluffy falls, Zubin falls as well. And once again, Cydosis left on an island all by their lonesome. Highest accuracy in this lobby. Everybody else in that 99.3 range. And their performance alone is accounting for a bulk of this 30,000 point lead. If they can hold on to this, and Fluffy can manage to hold her own as well, there's very little the United Kingdom can do going into this last quarter. That being said, this is arguably the trickiest section of the chart here. As Gabby Maniac finding the next drop, the lead grows to 50,000. As I mentioned, this can spiral out of control. It's not over until the last couple of nodes begin to rain down, but Cydosis falls, and it puts a tiny bit of a dent in that lead, but it might be too little too late. There is one final ending portion, and with Cydosis picking up a innocuous, I'll say innocuous, slider break there at the end before diving back into these 1/4s. The motif repeats one final time. And while they were looking good on the other two hybrids, the United Kingdom not able to go 3 for 3 on them. The United States picks up yet another breakpoint, and they pick up their first lead in this match proper, making it 3-4 going into their next pick. A match point opportunity presenting itself. I say United States up to pick, but they don't have any more LNs or hybrids to go into. They have to wrestle on those rice picks now if they want to secure this victory. And there's very little in the way of good options. That doesn't give the United Kingdom a very good chance to wrestle that breakpoint back. If I were to hearken a guess, Mirage Garden might be the best option here because of the amount of bursts it possesses. But no, it's going to be Vanguard 1. The techiest option in this pool. So picking up the tempo just a little bit, shaving off about 1.5 minutes. As Cydosis is saying it best, there aren't any safe picks left. That being said, the argument could be made, none of these picks were safe. Given how closely matched these two countries are, or rather these two rosters, the 4 players you see on screen, very much pushing each other to the limits. Can the United Kingdom get that breakpoint back, or can the United States secure themselves at the very least a tiebreaker in this match? A lot on the line on this pick. This map is just syncopated 1/4 hell. Handling these doublets. The 1/4 streams not always having an equal amount of notes. And it's a 1/8 to try and throw you off, force you onto your offhand to end some of these streams. But right now, the United States holding on to a 2,000 point lead. Again, this is going to come down to tenths of a percent. These streams not the most straightforward. Cydosis and Zubin trade. Cydosis taking a significant amount more damage in the exchange though, and it swings the lead back to the United Kingdom with half the map still left to go here. 15,000 points of margin. Quickly grows to 22,000 points. Fluffy finding a massive accuracy drop of their own down into that 98% range. Mini Egg winning the battle over her by a full percent at the moment, and it helped skyrocket this lead in their favor, as both Cydosis and Zubin are now basically canceling each other out in terms of their performances. They could still swing. There's still a quarter of the map left to go. The streams here get so hard to read through. The name of the game is just hang on to the combo as best as you can. Last couple of notes coming down. These are just staggered impacts with some 1/4 embellishments. The United Kingdom are going to be able to secure that breakpoint. It is now a best of 3. With Mini Egg MVPing the map. 985k clutch when needed to ensure that the United States does not get that match point. So United Kingdom, final pick in this match. Dare I say they are in the driver's seat at the moment. Because of the fact that they have had the consistency on these rice charts over the United States. If they want to go for something very straightforward, Gate of Doom is on the table. If they want to go for something incredibly hard, Mirage Garden is still an option. Rocky Buine as well in that speed category. But this is very tense. One of these two teams will be on match point, whether they want to or not. After this pick, it's just, is it going to be a break point or is it going to be your own pick one? And it's going to be Rice 4, Gate of Doom. Gonna go for the last, dare I say, straightforward pick in this pool. But again, this is very close. Alrighty, the players are ready. We're going to get into the 9th map of this best of 11. Now, formerly a best of 3. The final pick for the United Kingdom. every single judgment matters on a pick like this. Because you can find yourself spiking 300s, 200s, left and right. And what we have seen so far this match, the United Kingdom able to keep their accuracies between Zubin and mania really tight, within about 0.1% of each other. And that's what's lent them success, because of the fact that the United States hasn't been able to keep that spread as close. You have one person overperforming, the other one finding a couple of drops. And that score discrepancy has been giving the United Kingdom a lot to work with. But when the United States does click it together, that's when they've been able to find the points. As we make our way into the back half of the chart now, this is teetering on a knife's edge. Mania and Cytosis going at it on opposite corners of the map, or opposite corners of the lobby. Zubin about 0.3% ahead of Fluffy at the moment, and it's accounting for this 5,000 point lead that the United Kingdom has built up here. With a quarter of the map left to go. Again, very little room for error. Singular 200s could swing this one way or another. But the lead has only grown for the United Kingdom as this map has progressed. Everybody above that 99.7 mark. And despite there being 4 FCs, the average accuracy is still staying in favor of the United Kingdom. Last couple of bursts to read through. A lot of 1/3 patterns. Extended for an ungodly amount of time. But the United Kingdom will secure a match point situation. No breakpoint given over this time around. 990Ks across the board. The margin just based on accuracy alone. And the United States backed into a corner now. They need to make the correct decision to force the tiebreaker to come out here. What will it be? Mirage Garden or Rocky Vuine? A lot is riding on this pick. It's going to be speed 1. No need to deliberate. No pomp and circumstance about it. This is the United States' last pick in this match. Either we go to tiebreaker or this match ends with a UK victory. This is the most physically demanding map in this pool remaining. And these are 4 very physically capable players. But when nerves are at an all-time high, getting that last point is always the hardest. And the desire to play hero, to get your team to that tiebreaker, is when things can go so horribly wrong. It has been these 4 players from start to finish, with a cameo appearance in between. It is going to be Zubin and Mini-Egg going up against Cytosis and Fluffy. On the United States' final pick, it is going to be speed 1. This map is littered with 554 BPM 1/8 bursts. Mere child's play for these players. Able to handle it and more. All of them pushed to their absolute limits. No drops as of yet. This is One of the longest maps in this pool. 3.5 minutes, plenty of room for recovery. But you don't want to be the ones finding that first break. And a number of 200s coming out from Fluffy, going to damage her accuracy. But Zubin finds a bit of an accuracy drop of their own on the other side. The lead stays in favor of the United States for now. As we take a tiny bit of a break, second quarter of the map coming through now. 1,700 points and change. The margin. Here we go. The streams begin to pick up once again. We are into our next major section, second third of the map now. Not quite 550 BPM, but getting pretty close to it. With these 1/6 bursts that could catch you out, you transition into these 1/3 sections. Number of 200s coming out from the side of the United States. The United Kingdom able to wrench the lead back into their favor. Some LNs begin to dot the landscape, but nothing too crazy to worry about. You can play them kind of like Rice, but those judgments do matter. And a match as close as this, and it is now a 2,000 point advantage for the United Kingdom and climbing. It is currently Mini Egg versus Cytosis. Zubin able to hold off Fluffy at the moment. Last start of the map coming through, but Zubin is going to be the first one to blink. The first FC has fallen, and it is on the side of the United Kingdom. And with Cytosis holding down the fort, 99.8% accuracy on their side. It is down to Mini Egg, but Mini Egg finds the drop as well. No combos left for the side of the United Kingdom. There's still one FC left on the United States. Fluffy trades it back, and it's a pretty major accuracy drop from them as he finds a second one, and the lead transitions back. A triple miss! And Cytosis, champion amongst them all. As we have said multiple times before, with the last couple of notes raining down, nobody has combo to speak of except for them. They have an accuracy margin over their United Kingdom counterparts. And at the end of the day, it is a team effort, but by God, can there be some individual carry performances? As the last couple of notes rain down, the United States on the brink of elimination claw it back at the 11th hour, and we are going to tiebreaker to close out this finals weekend. 2,500 points the margin, a near V1 double S from Cytosis to trump them all. It is 5-5. And it is now time for Transhumanist. Inseparable are these two countries. The regular map pool pushed them to their limits, 2 breakpoints apiece. These two teams, before this match started, were joking about playing this tiebreaker for fun. This is not a fun time now. It is crunch time. 4 minutes 48 seconds separates one of these two countries between a podium finish and being that one on the outside looking in, wondering what could have been, what could have changed. If there was ever a time to lay it out on the line, this is the time. The sad thing about this, we have to say goodbye to one of these two teams. Both of them proving that they are more than worthy of a top 3 finish. But alas, the road will end here for one of them. And as I mentioned midway through this match, it's not about who makes that first mistake. It's about who makes that last one. MP Star Command comes out. Once again, Zubin, Mini Egg for the United Kingdom, Cytosis and Fluffy for the United States. Duking it out on map 11 of 11. Transhumanist, the choice. Mirage Garden left on the table. Unplayed, unbanned. I hope you're all ready for what will probably be the most electric ending to a finals weekend in 1K's history. This is but a precursor of what is to come. 1/4 broken streams with the occasional doublet, just little flourishes here and there to keep you on your toes. Everybody's gonna hold on to some monstrous accuracy. The 200s begin to dot the landscape. The United Kingdom takes the lead away from the United States. Cytosis finds the first drop. We're not even into the first major drop. We're still in the build-up, and it's going to give the United Kingdom 8,000 points to work with. Going into the first drop, can they hold on here through the first major stream section? And with that miss came 0.9% lost in terms of accuracy. A 5-digit lead for the United Kingdom. Zubin and Mini Egg holding strong. Zubin takes the mantle of highest accuracy in this lobby. Fluffy trying to claw back some of that lead as Cytosis crosses that 400 combo cap, able to lend a full contribution once again for the United States' efforts as we transition on into the second third of the chart now. Virtually tied on the bottom side of the screen. Zubin resting on a singular drop from Cytosis, able to keep them ahead for the moment as Cytosis tries to recover from the miss. It is still 10,000 points. The lead is not safe. We have seen much bigger swings in this match already. Harken back to Acid Burst. 30,000 points gone in an instant to give the United States a bit of a lifeline in this match. We now crest into the back half. 2.5 minutes remain. The United Kingdom still in the driver's seat. 12,000 points as we make our way into this 1/4 stream section. 1/8 bursts come right after. The transitions handled beautifully by all 4 of the players. 3 FCs still left on the board. Everybody climbing back up. 99.70 to represent, but Zubin finding a rush on the next set of 1/8 bursts. But they're still holding strong. The accuracy prevailing on their end as Fluffy finds the drop in return for the United States. That's both full combos gone for them. And the United Kingdom able to reestablish their lead. 17,000 points and climbing. A massive accuracy drop on the side of the United States. Down into the low 99% is Fluffy. Able to hold on to the combo, but the slider break catches them out. 30,000 points now for the United Kingdom as they begin to grow in terms of their lead going into the last quarter of the map. No trades back from their side. Able to handle the 1/8. Mini Egg holding on to the sole FC in this lobby. 200s dotting the landscape on their side, but they are doing everything in their power to ensure that the United States has zero chance of getting back into this map. And with 1/8 of the chart left to go, the accuracy on the side of the United States not where it needs to be to capitalize on any potential mistakes from the United Kingdom. And with these last couple of LNs coming through, they have managed to weather the storm. And with over a 30,000 point lead, the final podium position, the team that will be joining Japan and Australia, will be the United Kingdom, taking it in tiebreaker over the United States by a score of 6-5. An MVP performance from Mini Egg. Zubin 1,000 points behind in support. Very well played from everybody involved. That was incredible. And with that being said, that will do it for the finals weekend. Only 3 teams remain. The aforementioned Japan, Australia, and now the United Kingdom. Top 3 guaranteed. They will face off against Australia to see who takes a shot at Japan in that winner's bracket. I could not think of a better way to close out an incredible finals weekend. Actually, I can think of one. The 3 remaining teams need to know what they're going to be playing next weekend. We don't have an official time for the Grand Final Showcase as of yet. It has been delayed, but you can maybe harken a guess as to what might be in that map pool. Everything is on the table. It's just a matter of what the wheel decides. So keep an eye on the Discord for the official time for the Grand Final Showcase. What these final 3 teams will be going up against each other on, some of the most ungodliest creations ever made in 1K history. These guys will absolutely obliterate. But until then, I hope you guys have had a fantastic time. Keep an eye on the Discord, and we'll catch you guys later.